Hamilton,
Yeah.
who's been my lawyer for I don't know how long. All right, what's that?
All right, we're on the record in docket 22-00657. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Shannon Mejia. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Yang on behalf of Ms. Shannon Mejia, who is present and to my left.
All right, ma'am, you are Shannon Mejia?
Yes, I am.
All right. This is the time set for a jury trial today. Mr. Wisty, how we proceed?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution. The defendant will plead guilty to an added count of disturbing the peace in violation of MCL 750.170. That's 90 days and or $500. In exchange for that plea, the people will dismiss count one.
Plead guilty to disturbing the peace. Pursuant to MCL 750.170, 90 days and or $500 fine with a plea to count two. Count one is to be dismissed. Is that your understanding, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Yang?
That's a fair and accurate statement, Your Honor.
All right. And for the record, you've provided the court with an advice of rights and plea information that is signed by yourself and by Ms. Mejia. Just signed by Ms. Mejia.
That's correct, Your Honor. Just signed by Ms. Mejia. We have reviewed those, and Ms. Mejia has signed those, understanding her.
All right. I'll go ahead and place that in the court file. Ms. Mejia, you understand that what the attorney has said, that the greatest consequence for the plea to the count two, which is disturbing the peace, is 90 days and or $500. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, and so with a plea to that today, count one, the assault and battery, is to be dismissed. That's the 93-day and or $500 fine. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you provided the court with an advice of rights. I'll just go over some of the main rights because you've already signed off on the rights. You understand you have the right to be represented by counsel. You're of course represented by Mr. Yang, and he walked you through your advice of trial rights concerning this misdemeanor plea. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You also have the right to trial by jury, and you have the right to have Mr. Yang cross-examine and contest any charges brought against you. He explained that all to you, right, ma'am?
Correct.
And so, in relation to those rights, you've signed your advice of rights, and you understand all of your trial rights in this matter. You'll be waiving those rights in order to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the plea that any claim was a result of any promises or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'll be giving up any rights, of course, of any appeal rights, because you're pleading guilty today. You won't have a trial. Do you understand that? All right. Ma'am, I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
All right. I was told that I don't have to swear you in on misdemeanor cases, but I think it's a good idea if you're going to admit to something to go ahead and admit to it, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to September 15th of 2020 at the offense location of 1028 Beeman Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you in the city of Lansing on that day at that time?
Yes, I was.
All
sir.
right. And can you tell me what made you guilty of disturbing the peace on the City of Lansing address at that time?
I was at a wake funeral after a funeral. Was loud
Okay.
in the street.
All right. And during that time, is it your indication, Dave, that you disturbed the peace in the City of Lansing?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that was contrary to MCL 750.170. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Anything on the factual basis, Mr. Whiskey?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on the factual basis, Mr. Yang?
The defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have a preference in regards to sentencing, Mr. Whiskey?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like probation. I would like to sentence
All right.
him.
Let's refer this to probation. This did start as an assault of crime, so we'll refer to probation. And what they'll do is, and Mr. Yang, do you plan on having your client go today to probation in order to?
I'll take her down there.
All right, perfect. Refer to probation. What they're going to do is they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Just be candid with them, and then they'll set up a time, probably 6 to 8 weeks, where 10 weeks. We tend to be running slow there. 10 weeks, so that they'll provide a report for me, and we'll see what options are available. Okay, ma'am?
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, so refer to probation, sentencing date.
April 4th at 1:30.
It'll be April 4th at 1:30 for sentencing.
Works for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yang. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor, I would just like the court to remind the defendant that no contact provisions will stay in place while this is pending. Additionally, the victims, I believe, would appreciate an opportunity to speak to probation. Is there a way for them to do that?
Yeah, they will be contacted most likely because this was started as an assault of crime. They'll be contacted by probation, or the probation department, in order to have input into the sentence.
Do you
All right.
know if there's a number I can give them to reach out? I can figure it out on my own.
Yes, they can reach out to 517-483-4425. So there'll be a probation officer. There'll be a probation officer that is assigned to the specific file that they'll hear from. But that's a good place for them to start.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So Ms. Mejia, I would remind you that all the no contact orders in regards to the victim in the case, which is Miss Sunshine Wheatley, stays in place. Okay, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Yang?
Nothing further from the defense. Your Honor.
Anything,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all for the
Thank
record
you.
as
Have a
well.
nice day.
Thank you.
You said Fields is gonna be dismissal.
You should have the no. Mr. Wisty, do you have the Nally signed on Mr. Fields?
I apologize.
Mr. Bach, are you here for 160148?
Yes, sir.
All right. This should only two. Let's see. So we're on the record in docket 1601486. It's people, the state of Michigan versus, I'm sorry, that is Lafque versus Robert Beals and Jessica Jones. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yes, Ronald Bach here for plaintiff Lafque, Your Honor.
All right. I don't see a Robert Jones or a Jessica Jones in the Zoom courtroom. Does anybody by that name, Robert Beals or Jessica Jones in the actual courtroom? I have notice that was provided. A notice of discovery hearing for 8:30 today was sent to both Robert Beals.
I believe only Jessica was served, Your Honor. He
right.
probably, so just so you know.
Yeah, I have Jessica served, and then I have notice sent to Robert Beals from this court, but that was at that Hoover Street address. But I actually have Miss Jones served.
Correct.
Okay. I'll make note of that in the file that there was mail service as to Mr. Beal. And that would be defendant number 1, Beal. And then there was actual personal service as to defendant number 2, Jessica Jones. This was set for 8:30 today. It's now 9 o'clock. It appears the defendants have failed to appear. Mr. Bach, how would you like to proceed?
Well, Your Honor, I would leave that to you. If you're willing to do a bench warrant, we could do that. If you want to do a show cause first, we could do that.
Let's go ahead and do a show cause. We'll show cause both defendants for their failure to appear. This was set for discovery. I have this set for discovery hearing.
Correct.
And then we'll go from there, Mr. Bach, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you for your appearance today.
Omar is the plaintiff and the last. Okay, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't either. 22. This was scheduled for October. All right, so we're on the record in docket 22-02023, Hawa Omar versus James Crawford. And ma'am, you are Hawa Omar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I have this set, I think they used the wrong code. I have this set for a civil pretrial today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. And I don't see James Crawford in the Zoom courtroom. Is there a James Crawford in the physical courtroom? Okay, so I have service in this matter. And ma'am, were you able, did he ever fill out the pretrial statement? I have your version of it, but I don't have it signed by him.
I'm not sure if he did. We never met.
Okay, you never met at the first pretrial, did you?
I mean, through Zoom we did.
Okay.
He was in the Zoom for the last 2 times that we were on Zoom, like on Zoom meeting, but I haven't heard anything from him again.
All right. I'm just looking to see how he got notice of this before I act on his fail to appear. He was mailed notice for the January 17th date at the 323 West Saginaw Apartment 2 address. Does that sound right, ma'am?
That sounds right, yes.
Okay. I also have that it came back undeliverable.
Wow. The first child, he was served by a cop, I believe, and they ended up
Yeah.
receiving it. So I'm not sure why it was undelivered the third time.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I've had return to sender, and that was in November 17th. Would have been, well, that would have been previous to the November 22nd date that it was reset for today.
Yeah, see. I'm
So
not sure
at
what-
this point in time, this is set for 8:30. It's now 9:04.
Yeah.
It appears the defendants failed to appear. My preference would be to set it for show cause to find out exactly the nature of the setting it for show cause and whether he got notice or not. I'm not certain he's at that address anymore. Are you, ma'am?
I'm not sure because I never contacted him, so I never really stayed in contact besides doing the Zoom meeting between court and him and I. That's it.
Well, let's show cause him for his fail to appear and see if he has any implication as to why. If he fails to appear for the show cause, then we can start talking about granting some type of default for you, okay?
Absolutely. So is there anything, do I have to do anything?
No, the court will set it for show cause for his fail to appear.
Okay, so I will be receiving some type of paperwork from you guys?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll set it for fail to appear show cause
Okay.
for James Crawford.
Okay.
And that he failed to appear for the civil pretrial. And that's it. You'll get notice of the show cause when it's set by the court. All right, ma'am?
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you for your appearance today.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
That 05 file is the old one, right?
Actually.
Mr. Wisty, I'm gonna have you step out if you talk when you're talking to her, okay? Just because of the way the mic's set up.
Understood. Your
Yeah,
Honor.
no worries. And then I'm gonna call the civil case and we'll start putting your cases on the record.
Okay, is any of my victims in Zoom? Is everybody in Zoom?
I don't know right now. Let me tell you who I've got, and then I'm gonna go ahead. There's a. All right, Miss White. Are you there?
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, Miss White, Mr. Field's case was dismissed this morning, okay?
Good to know. Thank you.
All right, I just thought we recognize you when you show up for his case, so I probably a good idea to let you go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, on the iPhone, would you identify yourself? You just connected?
Charles Simmons.
Sir, on the other iPhone, could you identify yourself and what case you're on?
Timothy Frost here for plaintiff on Bloomfield Financial
All
versus
right.
Robert Boatman.
All right, and so I'll call your case right now. So what did you say? What did you say your name was, sir?
Frost. I'm Tim Frost.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 20. I'm sorry, we're on the record in docket 05-00890GC. That's Bloomfield Financial versus Robert Boatman. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Timothy Frost on behalf of plaintiff, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a discovery matter. I don't see Mr. Boatman in the Zoom courtroom, and we just went through to make sure we knew who was here. Is Mr. Boatman in the physical courtroom? Without any indication that Mr. Boatman's in the physical courtroom, this was set for 8:30. It's now 9:10. It appears the defendant has failed to appear for this discovery hearing. Just let me make sure that I think I have personal service on this.
Yes, Your Honor.
But we sent him notice from the court to the Killard Road address, and it appears that he was personally served on that.
Correct.
So for the failure to appear at discovery hearing, Mr. Frost, how would you like to proceed? Generally, it's the court's preference to show cause him at this point in time.
Very good, Your Honor. May we serve the show cause by mail, by first class mail.
Sure, the court will send a show cause itself, but if you also want to send the show cause, and you'll get a hearing date for that date for the show cause of Mr. Boatman for his failure to appear.
Very good. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Frost?
Nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you for
great
your
day.
appearance today. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, we're on the record in docket 2203336. People of the state of Michigan versus Tyrese L. Mitchell. So the parties, please introduce themselves for the record.
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Mitchell.
And this is the time set for a final pretrial today. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where the defendant will plead to count 1 domestic violence in exchange the people will kill or brew the sentencing pursuant to MCL 769.4A.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let me see, 769-4A. So he's going to plead to the charge?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Sutter. I didn't even notice he was wearing a hat, so.
I don't know why it occurred to me. So.
Yeah, it should have, but it didn't. Mr. Mitchell, you understand that right now the offer is to plead guilty as charged to count 1 with the sentence recommendation or the Killebrew status of 769-4A. Is that your understanding, sir? Okay. And is this a Killebrew or is it a recommendation?
This, I believe, under 769.4A, the people have to agree to this.
Right. So that I'm pretty sure that's my understanding is 769-4A status. So you understand the penalty has in regards to a consequence of 93 days and or $500. Do you understand that, sir? All right. If your plea is accepted, you'll not have a trial of any kind. So I'll walk you through some of your trial rights in this matter. Okay. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to counsel, of course, and you are represented today by Lauren Sutter, who would contest or cross-examine any charges or witnesses brought against you. Do you understand that? Okay. You have the right to have question witnesses against you, to have the court order any witnesses that you may need for trial. You have the right to remain silent, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. All things said and done, if your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that this plea was due to any duress or threats. You're pleading guilty because you want to plead guilty today, sir. Is that my understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're also giving up the right to any trial rights because you won't have a trial. You're going to plead guilty today. Is it your intent today to plead guilty and waive your trial rights?
Yes,
All right. I'm going to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to July 20th of 2022 on Hosmer Street in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you on Hosmer in the city of Lansing, Ingham County on July 20th, 2022?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you have a child in common with Jasmine Smith?
Yes, sir.
All right. On that date at that time, why don't you tell me what makes you guilty of domestic assault in count 1?
Well, we ended up getting into an argument, and I kind of just lost control, and assaulted her.
Okay, so you offensively touched her?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you did not do so out of self-defense. You did so because you made offensive contact with her during that situation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything on the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made. We will set this, we'll refer to probation with the understanding that the status is that 769 4A status. That's the biggest thing here, all right, is getting the 769 4A status. So we want to make sure that that is part of the sentence. So I'm going to refer to your probation. Ms. Sutter will tell you where to go. You walk down, they do a pre-sentence report, be candid with everything they say, and we'll come back here with the sentencing date. Sentencing date of April 4th at 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and be candid with them, tell them everything, and we'll set your sentencing date is set for April 4th at 1:30, okay? Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
All right, you're all set.
So, yeah, not-
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
Purple.
Weren't responding to me, so.
Ms. Franklin, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
All right. There you.
I'll try again.
I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with your lawyer, so you have a chance to talk to your lawyer, all right, ma'am?
All right.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Where's the breakout room?
matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where the defendant would plead guilty to an added count 3. Disorderly person jostling, that is MCL 750-167, paren 1, paren L.
And with a plea to that, and that's 90 days, 500?
Yes, correct, Your Honor. And with a plea to that, counts 1 and 2 would be dismissed.
And Ms. Sutter, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
It is.
So I'll go ahead and restate that for the record, Mr. Hutcherson. My understanding is you're going to be pleading guilty to an added count 3 of disorderly jostling pursuant to 750.167 parents 1 parents L. That's a 90-day and or $500 as a potential consequence. With a plea to that, counts 1 and 2 are going to be dismissed. Is that your understanding of the officer?
Yes.
All right. And this is after, so I'll talk to Ms. Sutter and Ms. Robinson. After new judge school, what they told us, after I've been on the bench for 10 months, they said that that anytime you want to do it, advice of rights is fine with me.
Mhm.
All right, I'll leave it up to you. Okay. I obviously don't have a preference. So so just so you know that. So if you plead guilty today, you won't have any following trial rights, and I'll walk you through those. Okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you plead guilty today, you have the right to you'll be waiving the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until they're proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses against you. You, of course, have the right to counsel. You are represented by Lauren Sutter today from the Public Defender's Office, and she would cross-examine or contest any charges brought against you. Okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You have the right to have any court order any witnesses that you need for your defense to come to trial. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your trial rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If you plea is accepted today, you'll be pleading guilty not because of any threats or subject matter that we talked about, any threats or duress. You'll be pleading guilty because you are guilty and you understand the negotiations that the two lawyers have talked about.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your intent today to plead guilty?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right. I was also told I don't have to swear misdemeanors in, and I do it anyway, because you might as well start the process, right?
I don't think there's a harm to that, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't either. We had a long and vibrant discussion about that. In regards to count 3, on November 21st, 2022, at the offense location of 500 South Pine of apartment 413, City of Lansing, Ingham County, were you present on November 21st, 2022 at the 500 Pine Street, City of Lansing address?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And why don't you tell me in count 3 what makes you guilty of disorderly jostling on that day?
I wasn't really responding to the officers well, not really communicating with them, kind of wiggling around.
Okay.
Just kind of being a pain in the butt.
All right. Did you understand that they were giving you orders and you were to obey those orders, and at that time you were not obeying that orders?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any factual basis concerning the guilty plea, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the guilty plea to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made as to count 3. Counts 1 and 2 are dismissed as part of this plea agreement. Mr. Wisty, did you have any regard into sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like at least to consult with probation. This was an assaultive offense. It didn't involve alcohol. I think there may be treatment programs that he may benefit from to prevent this sort of thing from happening in the future.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I would point out this is one of the charges that does fall within the statute regarding non-serious misdemeanors having presumptive fines and costs.
Right. And I tend to agree that, and I'd like a little, both the counts, the attempt RNO and the A and B. I'd kind of like to get some background on this before I sentence. It could have just been a bad day, right? But we'll see about that. We're scheduling 8 to 10 weeks out right now because of probation. But I'd like to see what our options are. All right. Ms. Sutter, you're gonna let him know where to go to probation.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll refer to probation. The sentencing date is set for
April 4th at 1:30.
April 4th at 1:30. So if you report today, they're going to ask a bunch of questions. Just answer those questions and we'll see what options are available for us on April 4th, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record and docket 2203272, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll see you on the 4th, okay, Mr. Hutchinson?
Thank you.
All right.
Anytime.
All right, I'm gonna let everybody in.
Okay, I talked to
There we go.
All right.
And then with the restitution, I told her not to start.
Mr. Polhamus, you're here for your 9:30?
Yes, sir.
All right, stand by. We've got a few cases in front of you, but you're in the right place, all right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just mute it.
With the individual with the moniker Nene, please identify yourself. NENE dash, would you please identify yourself?
Nene.
All right, what's your last name?
Oh, my name is Johnny Chapawa. I don't know why is it displaying as that.
Oh, yeah. That's.
All right, Ms. Powell, you're in the right place. We have a few cases in front of you, so stand by.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we're on the record in docket 21-00671. It's people of the state of Michigan versus Bridget Franklin. Will the parties
Yes.
please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Franklin.
Ma'am, you are Bridget Franklin?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Ms. Franklin?
I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where Ms. Franklin will plead as charged. In exchange, there'll be a sentencing agreement for a delay of sentence pursuant to MCL 777.1. With the review hearing set in approximately 12 months. If there are no further issues with Ms. Franklin, the people would reduce this charge to a simple assault at this time. Additionally, there's agreed upon restitution amount to Lisa Rowan of $973.32.
And how do you spell the Groen, the last name?
Groen. I do have the sheet book there.
Okay.
If I may approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you. So if there's no violations and restitutions paid, it'll be reduced to a simple assault?
Yes.
Correct.
That would be 750.275 or 180.
One moment, Your Honor.
I can't remember.
It would be 750.81 parent one.
81 parent one. Thank you.
93 under 500.
Is that your understanding? Let me restate that, Ms. Robinson, and then we'll. My understanding is the defendant's going to be pleading guilty to aggravated assault today, and that carries a penalty of 1 year and $1,000. With a plea to the aggravated assault, there's a sentence agreement pursuant to a delayed sentence under 777.0.10. And we'll set the review hearing for in 12 months. There's restitution to the complaining victim, Lisa Groen, in the amount of $973. And I have that red sheet for the file. If there are no violations, then after a year, this would be reduced to the simple assault under 750.81 parents 1, and that is the 93-day misdemeanor and or $500.
Correct. And it's not, I guess it's not violations, it's no new charges.
Okay.
She's not going to be placed on probation since she is at Kalamazoo Hospital. So it's just that no new charges and
All
she's
right.
complying with treatment.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Can I get this in writing?
I'll send you a copy when this is done. Okay, Ms. Franklin?
Yeah, it'll all
Okay.
be, you'll get a copy in writing, and we're recording right now, so this is all placed on the record. All right, ma'am?
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk you through this just because it's a little, there's a little bit more here. But it's my understanding you're gonna be pleading guilty to this charge of aggravated assault. It has a potential penalty of 1 year and or $1,000. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
All right. It's my understanding is a part of the sentence agreement in this case is pursuant to 777.10. We'll set the review hearing for 12 months from now. And if there are no new violations, this will be reduced to the simple assault, which is the 90-day misdemeanor and or $500. Is that your understanding, ma'am?
That is.
All right. There's also an understanding that restitution would be paid in this matter to Lisa Groen in the amount of $973. It's at $973.32. Is that your understanding, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. So if you plead guilty today, you won't be having a trial of any kind, and I'm going to walk you through your trial rights in this matter. All right.
All right.
All right, so you have the right to the two main ones. You have the right to trial by jury, and you have the right to be represented by counsel. You, of course, are represented by Erin Robinson from the Public Defender's Office, and she would be present to cross-examine or contest any charges brought against you. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
All right, you have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses, by your lawyer, Aaron Robinson, to have the court order any witnesses that you may have for your defense to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand those trial rights, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
It's my understanding you intend to waive those trial rights and plead guilty today, correct?
That is correct.
All right. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises or threats other than the plea agreement that we talked about, and that you'll be giving up the right to appeal any issue because you won't be having a trial. You'll be pleading today. Is it your intent to plead guilty today to the charge?
Yes, it is.
All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention, ma'am, back to October 31st, 2020, at the offense location of 621 East Jolly Road in the city of Lansing. Were you at that Jolly Road location in the city of Lansing on October 31st, 2020?
Yes, I was.
And did you have some contact with Lisa Groen in that on Jolly Road in the city of Lansing, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Why don't you tell me what happened in regards to any conduct between yourself and Miss Groen?
We had a verbal disagreement that led into a physical disagreement.
All right. And at some time during that October 31st date, did you offensively touch Miss Groen?
Yes.
All right. And when you touched Miss Groen, did you at the time did you inflict a serious injury, or did she seek medical treatment in regards to that offensive contact?
I inflicted medical injury to her.
All right. All right. Anything else on the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made. I'll accept the delayed sentence for 12 months. So we'll reconvene 12 months from now. I don't think you have a date for that, do you? All right.
January 8th at 9.
January 8th at 9 a.m. You'll get that in writing, ma'am.
Thank you.
And then you'll get there's also a restitution order. You'll get that in writing also, all right, ma'am?
Okay.
And you can make restitution by way of the court. So,
all right.
And Ms. Robinson will provide you with any of that information, all right?
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 2100671, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Franklin, good luck to you. We'll see you in a year, okay?
Yep.
Mr. Moss, what case are you here on?
Good morning, Your Honor. I was just retained by Miss Valerie Ostrowski.
Miss Ostrowski, okay. All right, I'll call that case in just a minute, okay, Mr. Moss?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Is Miss Ostrowski here?
She's here in my office, Your Honor.
Perfect, thank you, Mr. Moss. Mr. Alvarado, we're going to call your case. Are you there, Mr. Alvarado?
Yes.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 21-03334, People of the State of Michigan versus Carlos Alvarado. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Alvarado.
And sir, you are Carlos Alvarado?
Yes, I am.
All right. I do have a note here, Mr. Alvarado, that the jury trial and the final pretrial were both supposed to be live. You do not appear to be live today.
Oh, my bad. It's blurry.
Yeah, but that.
Oh, you're saying
that
in
being
person?
Yes. When I say live, I mean in person.
Oh man, I did not know that's what that implied.
All right. I'm just inquiring because the final pretrial was, I have big parentheses live today. With that being said, Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people will be filing a dismissal. We do not have a necessary witness. I would leave it in the court's discretion regarding him failing to appear in person.
And that's your understanding, Ms. Robinson, that's a dismissal without prejudice.
Yes, I have no objection to that, Judge.
All right, Mr. Alvarado, you understand that the people are moving to dismiss without prejudice today. What that means is they could reissue in the future if they have additional information, but today they're moving to dismiss. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right, Mr. Alvarado, I'm going to overlook the fact that you should be here in person today. Just don't let it happen again, because there are judges who would show cause you and place you in incarceration for not appearing in person. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
It's a good idea to make sure if you're to be in Zoom or in person, depending on what judge you're in front of. All right.
I understand.
All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in docket 21-03334?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Alvarado, you're all set. Good luck to you, sir.
All right.
You may.
We can move Alvarez.
Okay. I'll just stick this in the file. And we're on the record in docket 22-03492. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Toriana Alvarez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Alvarez.
And ma'am, you are Toriana Alvarez? Okay. This is the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are you proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people do not have necessary witnesses. We will be filing a dismissal without prejudice at this time.
And there will be no objection.
Ms. Alvarez, you understand that the people are moving to dismiss without prejudice today, which means that they could bring this back at a later date, but for all intents and purposes, the case is dismissed today. Do you understand that, ma'am? All right. Anything else for the record? Docket 22-03492, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Alvarez, you're all set. Thank you.
Mr. Bishop? Was here?
Maya Bobbitt.
Simmons.
Ms. Powell, can you join the breakout room with your lawyer? All right. And so Ms. Sutter, she should be back in the breakout room now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we have a break. Did you want to meet with Mr. Moss? Mr. Moss, did you want to meet with the assistant prosecutor on your case? I know you were just retained.
I honestly, Your Honor, yes, that would be good.
All right. We have a little break in the action, so I can place you in a breakout room with them, and then you can come. We can come put it on the record. All right.
Sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Mossberg, we'll send you a prompt and you can meet with. Yep. All set. When you're ready, Mr. Whiskey. Zoom user, would you please identify yourself for the record? You're labeled
Talking to me?
Zoom user. No, I've got you, Mr. Simmons. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Brianna Redmond.
All right. Brianna Redmond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're here for your 9:30?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, all right. All right, stand by, ma'am. You're in the right place, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Welcome. Everybody does it a little differently. Miss Ertman Holtham, you're here for your 10 o'clock?
Yes, I am.
All right. You're in the right place. Just stand by, all right, ma'am?
Okay, thank you so much.
And the person who's indicated Yvonne Billington on there, and they're not connected. Sir, on the iPhone who just connected, can you identify yourself?
James Friesen.
You're here for your 10 o'clock, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, stand by. We've got a few cases to call in front of you.
Okay.
Yvonne Billington as the moniker, would you identify?
Oh yeah,
What's
sorry.
your name,
I just
sir?
got my audio on. I'm Keith Harris Spindler.
Okay, Mr. Spindler, you're here for your 10 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
All right. Stand by. We've got a few cases in front of you, but you're in the right place. All right, sir?
Okay, thank you.
So we're on the record in docket 22-02737. People of the state of Michigan versus Malcolm T. Bishop. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Bishop.
Sir, you are Malcolm Bishop? Okay. This is time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people do not have a necessary witness, so we will be dismissing without prejudice at this time.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is, and we have no objection.
All right. Mr. Bishop, you understand the people are moving to dismiss without prejudice, which means that if they have additional information, they could reissue, but for all purposes, the case is dismissed today. Do you understand that, sir? All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in docket 22-02737?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, you should be all set, Mr. Bishop. All right.
Kirkpatrick here.
She's on Zoom. I think Miss Sutter's on Zoom waiting to talk to her.
You and Ollie and Bishop.
I printed it. Did I think the now and Bishop? I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you said Kirkpatrick was here.
No, I was wondering who was on Kirkpatrick.
Oh, sorry.
I am on Kirkpatrick, Your Honor.
All right.
I thought you meant she was here. so.
We'll put Ms. Kirkpatrick aside until we hear from you. Is there anybody else? Is there anybody who wanted to meet with Ms. Sutter in a breakout room?
I've talked to a couple people, Your Honor. I did just get a phone call from Ms. McNeil. She's having some tech problems. She's skipping in and out. So I'm wondering if we can handle her case right now before we lose her again.
Sure. Who is that?
Latasia McNeil.
Tasia McNeil.
Tasia. Here's this one. I don't have a Molly on Bishop.
Mr. Reese, did you have an ally on Bishop?
All right, perfect. Thank you, Jake. All right, we're on the record in docket 2203-562. It's people of the state of Michigan versus Letitia Renee McNeil. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Ms. McNeil.
And ma'am, you are Letitia McNeil?
Yes, Latasia McNeil, yep.
Okay, Letitia, and you can hear me all right, ma'am?
It's going in and out, but yes, I can.
All right. Mr. Wissy, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, there has been an email with some preliminary plea discussions. At this point, I'd like to set for a final pretrial and jury trial.
And I would join in that request.
All right, and let's make that final pretrial with Ms. McNeil. We're gonna make that live, all right? Just to avoid any of these technical difficulties, all right, ma'am?
Okay.
All right, so the final pretrial date is set for
February 7th at 8:30.
February 7th at 8:30. And the jury trial is set for
28th of February.
February 28th at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.
Anything else for the record, Mr. Whisty, on docket 2203-562?
Yes, Your Honor, just so it's clear for the record, by live, that would mean the defendant has to appear here.
Correct. Ms. McNeil, so in what order to avoid any of these technical difficulties, that'll be live and personal, right, ma'am?
Yep.
Okay.
And I would just like to confirm with the court, I have a 3931 Brunaway Drive, Lansing address. Is that still the correct address for Ms. McNeil?
Actually, Your Honor, there is an
I have-
updated court. There is an updated address for the court.
All right, so it's not a 4020, it's a 39.
Yep.
All right, what's the updated address?
It is 121.
I have Burnaway Drive, I have a different number.
Your Honor, she has a completely new address to provide. She's not getting mail reliably to that Burnway Road address, so she has a new address for mail.
All right, let's make sure and get the new address then.
Okay. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
It is 1212 Pearl Street in Benton Harbor, Michigan. 49022 zip code.
That's Pearl Street.
Yes.
Is that phone number still a good contact, that 248 number?
Yes.
Okay. So I have the new address at 1212 Pearl Street, Benton Harbor, Michigan, 49022.
Correct.
All right. Anything else for the record in this file, Ms. Whisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. McNeil, we'll see you back here on February 7th at 8:30 live, okay, ma'am?
Okay.
All right, thank you. You're free to leave.
And then, Your Honor, Mr. Reese has been here in person for quite some time. If we can move him and Janisha Powell.
All right.
Would you like me back in the courtroom with Mr. Reese?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm perfect with you being here on Zoom, so.
Okay.
So, yeah, if he's here, you have to be here.
Okay,
So if
yes,
Mr.
he
Reese
is here in
You
person.
have to be in here. Okay, then you have to be here.
All right, then could we perhaps do Ms. Powell on Zoom very quickly?
Yeah,
We'll go grab Mr.
let's
Reese.
do Miss Powell. So we're on the record in docket 2201-592. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Janisha Powell. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Powell, who joins us via Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Janisha Powell?
Yes.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Ms. Powell?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, an offer has been made. I would defer to defense counsel on how we're proceeding this morning.
Ms. Sutter?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did discuss the plea offer with Ms. Powell. At this time, we'd like to request the court schedules for a final pretrial.
Okay, we'll set this for final pretrial and jury trial date, just to have that secondary date. What's this? Excuse me, what's the final pretrial?
February 7th at 8:30. And then February 28th at 8 for the jury.
And then February 28th at 8. Mr. Wisty, do you have a preference for the final pretrial for the appearance of Ms. Powell? It's a retail fraud.
I do not, Your Honor.
Yeah. For retail fraud, I guess I have no preference. Ms. Powell, I'm good with you being here by Zoom for the retail fraud. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna indicate Zoom appearance is okay. We'll set it for February 7th at 8:30 and the jury trial set for February 28th at 8. Do you have any questions of me, Ms. Powell?
No.
Okay, so you should be all set for February 7th at 8:30. All right, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else for the record, docket 2201592, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in that file.
Thank you. I'll be in the courtroom in just a second.
All right.
I believe we can move Ostrowski. I believe
That's Mr. Bott, that's Mr. Moss.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-00011. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Valerie Ostrowski. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Jackie Mossford on behalf of Ms. Valerie Ostrowski, who is present here in my office.
All right, ma'am, you are Valerie Ostrowski?
Yes.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Mrs. Ostrowski?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we'd like to set for a second pretrial. The reason being defense counsel was just retained. And I believe defense counsel also has a motion they'd like to bring at this time.
Second pretrial. Just retain. And Mr. Moss, is that your understanding that this will be set for second pretrial? You were just retained and you have a motion to bring today?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the charge stems from an alleged incident between my client and her daughter. They reside together in the same home. Since the incident, there was a no contact order put in place. I'd like to move for an amendment of that no contact order to allow for peaceful contact. The reason being, as I stated, my client, they lived in the home together. My client has since moved out of the home in compliance with the no contact order. She's expressed that she has every reason to believe that her and her daughter will be able to peacefully coexist during the while this matter is being resolved. And additionally, that is her mailing address. So for all court documents, the no contact order presents a logistical issue for her being able to retrieve her mail for any court related matters.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. I believe that the complaining victim is here. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's, so ma'am, you can stand up if you'd like to. And ma'am, you are Rachel Ostrowski?
Yes.
How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 19, almost 20.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to say in regards to the no contact order?
Yes.
I don't want her, I don't want it to be, I think,
Lifted?
lifted. I don't want her anywhere near me. Issues like this have been happening over the years, and this is not the first time she's been arrested, and I don't want any further things to happen.
All right.
There
Okay.
have been many cases of abuse and stuff over years, and I really don't want to be around her, and I don't want her to live any.
Mr. Wisty, anything on behalf of the people?
Your Honor, just the court should be aware Ms. Ostrowski is currently on probation for domestic violence under 764A. I do not think it's appropriate to lift the no contact order.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ostrowski. Mr. Moss, at this time, based on the complaining victim's statement and the support from the people of the state of Michigan, I'm going to deny your motion to lift the no contact order. At least at this period, Mrs. Ostrowski's here. The complaining victim, Rachel Ostrowski, indicated for the record she's 19 years old. She does not want the no contact order to be lifted at this time. I'm not saying it can be addressed, it can't be addressed at a later date, but I'm going to keep the no contact order in place. All right, sir?
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we'll set it for second pretrial on
February 7th at 9 a.m.
for February 7th. 7th
At 9 a.m.
at 9 a.m. So it's set for second pretrial on that date.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Wisty, did you get that date?
Oh, Your Honor, I apologize.
Okay, it's February 7th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Ms. Ostrowski does have a mailing address she can provide to the court.
So she has an updated address?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ostrowski, do you have an updated address for the court?
Yes,
You may proceed.
3729, it's Peppercorn Drive, that is Grand Ledge, Michigan, 48837.
All right. I have the updated address as 3729 Pepperton Drive, Grand Ledge, Michigan, 48837. Is that correct, ma'am?
Peppercorn,
Pepper, Pepperton?
no, it's Pepperkorn.
KORN. Thank you. All right. So with that updated address, Mr. Moss, we'll see you and your client for second pretrial on February 7th. All right, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. That's all for the record, docket 23-00011.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
What's that?
All right.
Yes.
Simmons, I can't see the date.
Yeah.
Docket 22-01100. People of the state of Michigan versus Pedro M. Leja. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Leha.
And sir, you are Pedro Leja? All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we've reached an agreement where the defendant would plead as charged. In exchange, the people would kill or brew to a defer of sentence pursuant to 777.1, it's MCL 777.1. I request this be set for review in approximately 6 months. At that time, if there are no further tickets issued against the animals, the people would dismiss.
So if no further tickets in regard to this animal, correct?
No further tickets to any of Mr.
Okay.
Leah's animals. No tickets against him.
I guess we'll do this. And this carries, is this a 90-day and/or? I'm not sure what, because it's written on the
93
ticket.
day and or 500.
93,500?
Yes.
So I'll restate that, the negotiations for the record, my understanding, Mr. Leah, is you'll be pleading guilty as charged. The ticket, which is the consequence of 93 days and or $500 is a misdemeanor. There'll be a killer brew of a delayed sentence under 77.1 for 1 year if no further tickets are brought against you or no further tickets are issued in regards to dog bite or dog at large. This case will be dismissed. Is that your understanding, sir? All right.
It's actually 6 months, Your Honor, not 1 year.
6 months?
That is
Yes.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there any restitution in the matter, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Is that your understanding of the plea agreement, sir? All right, I'm gonna walk you through, since it's a misdemeanor plea on a ticket, I'm gonna walk you through some of your advice or rights. You understand that the potential for the ticket is 93 and or $500. Do you understand that, sir? Okay. If your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind. You have the right to counsel. You have the right to have a jury trial in this matter, in this misdemeanor matter. I'll walk you through some of these rights, all right? You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses and contest any charges brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan. You, of course, are represented by attorney Erin Robinson. She could cross-examine or contest any charges brought against you. Do you understand that, sir? Okay. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses in your defense. You have the right to remain silent, not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your trial rights in this case, sir? Okay. If your plea is accepted, you'll be giving up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than the plea agreement, that this is not the result of any threats or duress. You're pleading guilty because you want to plead guilty, sir. Is that correct? Okay. You'll also be giving up the right to any trial because you won't have an appeal to any trial, because you won't be having any trial. You'll be pleading guilty. You give up the right to appeal any matter. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to April 21st of 2022, approximately 7 o'clock at night. Were you the guardian or were you in charge of a dog by the name of Xena? All right. And did that dog, while they were loose, did they bite somebody? Okay, who did they bite? Do you know?
A neighbor.
A neighbor? Okay. And it indicates here at the time you admitted the violation, so this is all right. Anything else in regards to the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
Nothing regard to the factual basis, Your Honor. I would just one correction. It's The delay of sentence is 771.1.
771.1. 771.1. I missed a decimal there. So this all happened in the city of Lansing on Wainwright, correct? All right. Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
I find the factual basis for the plea to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurate made. I accept the Killebrew agreement of 1 year.
6 months, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I keep on saying 1 year, 6 months. And if no further tickets or contact in regards to dog at large with the law enforcement agency or tickets, the case is to be dismissed and there is no restitution. Do we have a sentencing date to revisit the file?
June 20th at 9 a.m.
It'll be June 20th at 9 a.m. And that's when we'll revisit the issue for delayed sentence. All right, sir? Anything else for the record, docket 22-01100, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, we'll see you on the June date. Thank you, Mr. Leah.
Thank you. Your Honor, in People v. Franklin, I may have given the wrong statute.
I'll give you.
Is that that's a 0.1 parents one or a?
771.1. I think I've been saying 777.1.
All right.
We have to. We're just gonna set it for final pretrial and jury trial.
Entry here.
Yep, sorry behind me.
All right.
You don't.
Ms. Sutter, did you need to be placed in a breakout room with anybody?
Yes, Your Honor. I was in the middle of a conversation with Mr. Simmons when he all of a sudden, I think, lost connection. But if I can speak to Mr. Harris Spindler until Mr. Simmons pops back in.
All right, I'll have Ms. Sutter and Ms. Harris Spindler placed in a breakout room until Mr. Simmons comes back.
Thank you.
And then we're going to put Mr. McKentry on the. All right, we're on the record in docket 21-02310. That's People of the State of Michigan versus DeJuan Bush. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jay Quisty on behalf of the people.
Sir, you are Dewan Bush.
No, I'm here.
All
Just
right.
me.
All right. And Mr. Bush, you are without counsel today, is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
I have an indication in this court file that you are currently represented by the Public Defender's Office. You chose not to be represented by the Public Defender's Office in this domestic assault. And then you had an attorney, Mr. Lucas, file an appearance and then withdraw his appearance. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Mr. Bush, did you want to make an additional application to the Public Defender's Office for representation, or did you want to go forward on your own? Seems like a bad idea to go forward on your own in a domestic assault case.
Yeah. I need a lawyer.
Ms. Robinson, would you like to meet with Mr. Bush in order to make application or at least start that process?
Yes.
All right. Did you want to be placed in a breakout room with him?
Yep, give me 1 second.
All right. Mr. Bush, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with a public defender in order to start that application process, okay?
Okay.
All right. So once she joins, I'll place you in a breakout room. And then we probably should reset this. Yeah, I do too. I do too. So, Mr. Bush, we're going to go ahead and set this for final pretrial and allow you in the interim to meet with the Public Defender's Office, okay?
Okay.
So that'll be set for final pretrial February 7th at 8:30. That'll be live in person, sir, okay?
Yes, sir.
And I know you were here previously live in person, so that'll be live. And then I'll allow, we'll go ahead and let you meet with Ms. Robinson from the Public Defender's Office, and you can start making application, all right?
Okay.
So final pretrial will be set for February 7th at 8:30, and the jury trial will be set for February 28th at 8 o'clock. So you'll the February 7th and February 28th. You may want to provide those dates to the Public Defender's Office. And when Ms. Robinson is able to join us, we'll place you in a breakout room with her, okay?
All right.
Anything else to the record in docket 21-02310, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
All right, stand by and we'll place you in a breakout room with the Public Defender, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, if Mr. Simmons is back, can I just very briefly talk to him?
You want to talk to Mr. Simmons?
Yeah, I just need to finish up the last thing I'm saying.
All right.
Thank you.
And Mr. Bush, you're free to leave. We gave both those dates to the public defender's office, okay?
Well, did he get notice of that?
Yep. Yeah. So you should be all set with your application. You do have notice of those 2 dates, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all set then.
All right. Thanks. Have a
You're
good day.
welcome. You too. Ms. Sutter, did you need to meet with anybody else? We're kind of in a downtime right now.
Yeah, oh, if Mr. Wisty's not there. Yeah, so Mr. Harris Spindler is ready to go on the record whenever. Mr. Polhamus is ready to go on the record whenever. Mr. Simmons is actually here in person. By the time I got into the breakout room with him, he was going through security downstairs. So he's just gonna head up and give me a bunch of paperwork.
Okay.
Let me
So I'll leave it your call. Mr. Whiskey can go look at the paperwork and you let us know if you want to meet with anybody else.
Very good. I see Ms. Redmond is on Zoom. If we're in a downtime, I can talk to her.
All right. So I'll have Ms. Sutter and Ms. Redmond placed in a breakout room.
Thank you.
Hello.
Mr. President, we can hear you. We're just putting some other cases together, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Friesen, we'll call your case. We're on the record in docket 22-03544. People of the state of Michigan versus James Friesen. Will the parties please introduce themselves? Friesen, James Friesen. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are James E. Friesen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are not represented by counsel today at this pretrial?
No, I applied for a court-appointed lawyer and I haven't heard anything back from him yet.
All right, we checked into that and there's an indication that you were denied by the public defender's office on January 6, 2023.
I wonder why.
I can't answer that.
Okay.
Generally, the applications are denied because you make more than the qualified amount.
Okay.
So, would you like to speak to? Would you like to speak to the assistant prosecutor in this case?
Your Honor, it may be prudent
To see if he
inquire
wants
to retain private counsel.
Mr. Friesen, do you intend to retain your own counsel in this matter?
I didn't. Well, now I know I have to. I probably have to now.
Probably have to now. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea in regards to being represented and have somebody to talk to concerning any of your criminal rights. Let's go ahead and reschedule this. This is the first pretrial, so we can set it for second pretrial. I'm going to indicate that the defendant was not represented by counsel and therefore plans to retain. Sir, also, if your financial situation has changed, you may want to make another application to the public defender's office. But if it hasn't, then you understand that they have certain guidelines that they go by in order to seek application. You understand that?
Yeah, I've been laid off for 2 weeks. That might help.
All right, so let's set it for second pretrial. You go 2 weeks out. Okay, even better.
February 7th at 9:30.
So February 7th at 9:30. So, Mr. Friesen, your next date in front of this court will be a second pretrial, February 7th at 9:30. In the meantime, you probably want to look into being represented by counsel at that time. All right, sir?
Yeah, I'll start looking today.
All right, thank you. Anything
you.
else for the record, docket 22035444, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Friesen, we'll see you on the 7th, all right, sir?
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
In your honor, I believe we're ready on Redmond, Polhamus, and Harris Spindler.
All right, let's go on Polhamus. Let's go on Redmond, because that file's right here.
Okay.
So we're on the record in docket 23-00010. People of the state of Michigan versus Brianna Redmond. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, your honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Redmond, who joins us via Zoom.
Ma'am, you are Brianna Redmond,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you can hear me all right, Miss Redmond?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Like the set for a final pretrial and jury trial, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set for final pretrial on
February 7th at 8:30.
February 7th at 8:30. That'll be live.
And jury trial on February 28th.
And February 28th at 8 o'clock for the jury trial. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in docket 23-00010?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, your honor.
Yeah, we'll see you back here for final pretrial on February 7th at 8:30, Ms. Redmond. That'll be live, all right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
And then Mr. Polhemus,
Yes, sir.
we're on the record in docket 22-02622. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Craig E. Polhemus. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, your honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Polhamus, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Craig Polhemus?
Yes, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Polhemus?
Yes, I can.
This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, an offer has been made. I would defer to defense counsel on how we're proceeding.
Ms. Sutter?
Yes, your honor. Thank you. There was an offer extended by Ms. Smith a few weeks ago. That offer being if Mr. Polhamus was to plead to, there are two identical counts. If he were to plead to one, the second would be dismissed and he would be, there would be a killabrew to a drug evaluation and treatment while on probation. And the other charge would be dismissed. And it is Mr. Polhamus's intent to accept that offer today.
All right, so I'm going to restate that for the record. The offer is a plea to count 1. Dismiss count 2. There was a killabrew agreement. And go ahead and state that for the record, Ms. Sutter.
The email I was sent from Ms. Smith said, killabrew to drug evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary while on probation.
He's on probation. He's gonna be on probation. So Ms. Sutter, so as a part of probation, drug treatment and whatever, that's a part of the probation?
That was the email I was sent or that contained within the offer.
Okay, so is that your understanding, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's drug treatment as a part of probation.
And I suppose, so,
continued.
I apologize.
Go ahead. ahead.
So that was the email I sent from Ms. Smith. Mr. Wisty's email contained the 1-for-1 with a Kilburn and no upfront jail.
Okay. So let me restate that so I make sure I get that right. Okay, so I have a plea to count 1, dismiss count 2, Killebrew of no upfront jail, drug treatment to be a part of probation. Is there anything else, Ms. Sutter, that's a part of that?
No, Your Honor, I think that's all of it now.
Is that your understanding, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Polhamus, if I take a plea today, you won't have a trial, so I'm going to walk you through your trial rights, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. The maximum penalty in count 1 is 1 year and or $2,000. That's the maximum penalty you could face. Of course, your Killebrew is no upfront jail, so if the court doesn't agree to that, you have the opportunity to withdraw your plea. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. If you give up your trial rights, you'll be giving up the following rights that I'll walk you through. You will not have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the following trial rights: the right to be tried by a jury, the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, the right to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, the right to question those witnesses against you and cross-examine them. You, of course, are represented by Attorney Lauren Sutter from the Public Defender's Office. She would be available to cross-examine any witnesses and contest any charges in being your right to counsel. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses for your defense. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to not have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand your trial rights as I've explained them to you, sir?
Yes, I do.
It's my understanding that you wish to waive those rights today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim the plea was the result of any promises other than the plea agreement already stated. You will not be having a trial, so you'll give up any appeal to a trial because you are pleading guilty today. Is it your intent to plead guilty today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can I have you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
I'm going to bring your attention back to January 24th of 2019 at the offense location of 1600 South Washington, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you on South Washington in the City of Lansing on that date and time?
I was, Your Honor.
And at that time, did you have in your possession or did you use the controlled substance of methamphetamine?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. Anything in regards to the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter, in regards to
No.
the factual basis?
No, Your Honor.
I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made. So as a part of the Killebrew agreement, it's to put you on probation and to keep you in your drug treatment. Are you currently in a drug treatment program, sir?
I am, Your Honor. I'm actually at the House of Commons in Mason. I'm, as we speak right now, I'm at House of Commons working on my sobriety.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I suppose just so the court is aware, he was on probation in Clinton County, and as of last week, that was transferred to here in Ingham County. So he is going to have everything between drug treatment and other counties' probation all contained here within Lansing.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate for the file that D is at House of Commons in drug treatment, which would mean that our probation department will contact him there, and we'll try to put this all together as a part of probation, which I just think makes sense to me, since we're all interested in the same goal, which is to make sure that this doesn't happen again, right, Mr. Polhamus?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So what's the time frame for him being contacted at House of Commons? They could probably do so by Zoom, I would think.
I believe he just needs to release and get that to the probation department, and then they can set something up. I believe the probation department will contact the House of Commons.
So the probation department will contact the House of Commons in order to start the initial paperwork in regards to the release. That makes sense to me, that you'd sign a release and then you'd be interviewed by our 54A probation department. So I will indicate that for the file, that D is to be contacted.
Okay. I'm also going
probation.
to sober house living too, Your Honor.
What's that?
I'm also going to be going to a sober house living after here to continue my sobriety because I don't want to slip.
Okay, how long is the rest of your time at House of Commons?
I'm here until March 13th. I got a month and a few weeks left. There was 90 days treatment. So I'm doing like the full 90 days, but they also said that if I continue to progress and make progress and participate in groups like I've been, they were going to talk about maybe early release, maybe like to the sober house living, like
Sober
when I
house,
leave here.
okay.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get a sentencing date.
We're gonna aim for April 4th, and I will touch at 1:30, and I'll touch base with probation if we need more time. or
Okay.
whatever. Or if he contacts Mr. Robinson, we can obviously extend this out.
What time?
1:30.
Okay. So the plan right now is that we're going to set it for sentencing on April 4th. They'll let us know if they need more time concerning your situation. They'll let you know. I placed in the file that you're at House of Commons and your next stop may be the Silver House, but we'll see what the logistics are as far as the dates go. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Your Honor, I just correct you. I don't think he said silver house. He said a sober house.
Oh, Sober House.
Yeah,
think you're
sober
right.
house living. It's the next step from, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Sutter. All right, anything else for the record? Docket 22026222, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, they'll let us know, but at this point in time, we'll see you on April 4th. All right, Mr. Polymus?
So April 4th, be back here on Zoom?
Yep, April 4th will be it'll most likely be a Zoom sentencing depending on where you are.
Okay.
All right?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. If you have any questions, keep in contact with Ms. Sutter. All right, sir?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. That's all for the record in that file. Ms. Sutter, did you want to do Mr. Harris Spindler next?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we're on the record in docket 23-00024. People of the state of Michigan versus Keith A. Harris Spindler. The parties please introduce themselves for the record.
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Harris Spindler, who joins us via Zoom.
Sir, you are Keith Harris Spindler.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
We'd like to set for a final pretrial and jury trial, Your Honor.
All right, the final pretrial will be live and set for
February 7th at 8:30.
February 7th at 8:30, jury trial,
February 28th at
February 28th at 8 o'clock. So we have it set for final pretrial. That'll be live, Mr. Harris Spindler, on February 7th at 8:30, and jury trial set for February 28th at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
You have both those dates, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Sutter, may I inquire your client? There is a brief exclusion zone report, and I would like to make sure he understands the nature of his responsibilities concerning that matter. I'm not going to act on it today, but I want to make sure that if I get another one of these, you put me in a position where I have to act. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Your Honor.
So Mr. Harris Spindler, I have from the JSG monitoring that you violated the exclusion zone on January 15th for 2 minutes, which tells me that you probably drove through the zone, okay? Or you did something like that from 7:08 to 7:10. Understand that it is incumbent upon you that you know exactly where you are in regards to the exclusion zone. I'm gonna take this as kind of a learning moment. It is a violation, but I don't think it's enough a violation to act on it. If I get
Thank
another
you.
one of these, I'm put in a position where we're gonna have a hearing. All right.
I understand, sir.
All right. So just so you know, this is really for your own protection to know exactly where you are, so we don't get another one of these. All right.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 23-00024, Mr. Wisty?
Your Honor, could I get a copy of that emailed to me if that's possible?
Absolutely. I'm going to put it in the file and I'll have Nathaniel or Wendy make a copy of you, copy for you.
Thank you.
Ms. Sutter, did you want a copy yourself?
Yes, I do.
All right. With that understanding, I'll make a copy made for both counsel. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Harris Spindler, we'll see you back here on February 7th at 8:30. All right, sir?
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, you're all set.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
And then, Your Honor, there's a couple of people here who are here in person that I'm going to grab. I think that's, well, I know Mr. Davion Beasley is here, and I think I heard a rumor that Mr. McKentry is here.
I handled that. That was my case. Wasn't it?
Oh, okay, thank you. Then I'm gonna go speak with Mr. Beasley.
All right, that was the missing phone. Okay. We do Mr. Simmons?
He's here.
Okay. I'll let you tell me.
I believe Ms. Sutter has to speak to you.
All right. Then we've got some cleanup.
Dog tickets too.
What's that? Yeah, we haven't called them yet.
Oh. Everything's in order.
You packed a lot into
Yeah, you know
8 to
me.
10.
The problem is, we didn't have a DACA last week, remember?
Mhm. I remember. Yeah, you missed the no body prelim.
How'd that go?
Took all of 8 hours.
Did it
That
bike
reminds
over?
me, I
We
still
got,
get
yeah,
an
we found it
hour.
over.
I never did take my hour.
It was,
I take an hour sometimes.
I think we got off about after 4.
It was 4,
think that,
okay,
um,
15 or
it's gonna-
14.
It's gonna be a trial.
Anything's gonna happen with it.
I think it's a close call.
Really?
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a close.
What kind of evidence did they use?
Yeah, blood all over his car. Yeah, the victim's blood all over his car.
Oh,
Get it. And he cut out the carpet where
but-
there was alleged.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, as a bind over, it was pretty straightforward,
Here,
but,
Robinson.
but there's a lot.
I mean, you do have court today.
Right, we're on the record in docket 20-02699. People of the state of Michigan versus Davion Beasley. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Beasley, who was seated to my right.
Sir, you are Davion Beasley? Okay. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Like this set for a final pretrial and jury trial, Your Honor.
Okay, okay, the final pretrial will be live, as will the jury trial date be. Final pretrial,
The 7th at 8:30,
February 7th at 8:30. And jury trial,
February 28th at 8.
February 28th at 8. So, Ms. Satter, you have both of those dates, final pretrial February 7th at 8:30 and jury trial February 28th at 8?
Yes.
All right. Any, Mr. Beasley, so you're to be here live February 7th at 8:30, okay, sir? All right. Is there anything else for the record in docket 20-02699, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
We'll see you on the 7th, sir, all right? You're welcome.
He's gonna print you out. I would like to find that next word.
Multitasking. 22-03150. People of the state of Michigan versus Charles Simmons. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Simmons.
And you are Charles Simmons?
Yes, I am.
And you were on Zoom and now you're live.
Yes, sir. So I couldn't see the picture and.
No, you're fine. You've appeared every way you can today, so that's good news. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we'd like this set for another pretrial. What's going on, as you can see, Mr. Simmons brought a variety of paperwork. Unfortunately, it's not the document I need. I would like time for that to be provided to me. I would have no objection. If I get it in advance, I intend to dismiss. I would have no objection of him not appearing at it.
Is that a fair statement, Ms. Robinson?
It is, Your Honor. Thank
All
you.
right. We'll set it for an additional second pretrial for compliance purposes.
February 7th at 9:30.
February 7th at 9:30. And if you come with if you're able to make the appropriate documentation to Mr. Wisty, he'll make sure that the case is dismissed before then. Okay, sir? Any questions of me, Mr. Simmons? All right. Thank you for your appearance, both by Zoom and live. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And Your Honor, can I speak with Madison Holtham?
You can.
Thank you.
I'll have Ms. Sutter and Ms. Holtham placed in a breakout room. Did you want to call some of these other cases?
Yes.
So we're on the record in docket 22-02041. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Taja Kirkpatrick. This is scheduled for 8:30. It is now 11:19. Appearances for the record.
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Kirkpatrick.
And Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a final pretrial on the matter. How are we proceeding?
Request a bench warrant without the 48-hour hold. This is an assault of crime.
Ms. Robinson?
Your Honor, I am not sure why she is not here today. We would ask for a 48-hour hold.
Thank you. Because of the nature of the crime, for assault and battery, the court's going to issue a bench warrant for bench warrant and bond forfeiture without the 48-hour hold. So gave the person almost 3 hours, Ms. Kirkpatrick. So at this time, the defendants failed to appear, bench warrant bond forfeitures issued. Right. And then let's do Ms. Brian. So we're on the record in docket 22-01320, 22-01321, and 22-01323. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Angela Bryan. This was initially set for 9 o'clock. It is now 11:20. Appearances for the record.
Jake Whiskey on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender, Ms. Bryan.
This is the time set for a pretrial on 3 they look like unlicensed dog tickets. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people would request a bench warrant, no objection to the 48-hour hold given the nature of the charge.
Ms. Robinson?
We would just ask for the 48-hour hold.
Because of the nature of the offense, the court will order defendant failed to appear, set for 8:30. It's now 11:21. We will issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture. However, we will place a 48-hour hold on the bench warrant and bond forfeiture because of the nature of the offenses. Anything else from the people?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record in docket 22-01321, 22-01323, and 22-01320. 160. People of the state of Michigan versus Kyra Zanders. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Sanders.
And this was set for no, I'm sorry, this is set for 10. It is now 11:25. It appears the defendants failed to appear today. Mr. Wisty, how did you want to proceed?
Your Honor, I pressed a bench warrant. I believe a 48-hour hold is appropriate given the nature.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor, we would request a 48-hour hold as well.
I think because of the nature of the offense, a 48-hour hold is appropriate. So I'll issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. Defendant failed to appear, was set for 10. It's now 11:25.
And I guess we can wait till we're off the record. Within the file.
And that's all for the record, docket 22-03-160. Mr. Wisty, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Sutter, you ready to go on Ms. Ertman Holtham?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record in docket 22-03-545. People of the state of Michigan versus Madison Ertman Holtham. Mr. Wisty, appearances for the record.
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing on behalf of Ms. Ertman Holtham.
And ma'am, you are Ms. Ertman Holtham?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, ma'am?
I can, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial on this matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe we want this set for a final pretrial and jury trial.
Is that accurate, Ms. Sutter?
That's correct.
Okay, so we set it for final pretrial.
February 7th at 8:30.
And jury trial?
February 28th.
All right. And so in regards to that, in regards to the final pretrial, let's do that live. So Ms. Holcomb, you understand that you'll be in person live on that February 7th date?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, on docket 22-03545?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
Just that I couldn't hear the date for the jury trial.
February 28th at 8 o'clock.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record in that file. We'll see you on the 7th, Ms. Holcomb, okay?
What time was that? I'm so sorry.
It's at 8 o'clock. That final pretrial is at 8:30.
Okay, 8 o'clock, February 7th. I'll be there. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.